Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be ranking some more costumes from The Simpsons Tapped Out. The character that we're going to be focusing on today and ranking the costumes for today is going to be the character of Moe in The Simpsons Tapped Out. So, I think this was the most requested one. I think I had Willie also requested, but I think I'll do Moe first. At least I remember one person requested him. Whichever one you want to see next, leave in the description. I may have missed it out, I'm not sure. But yeah, so we got Moe. So Moe has not loads of costumes. He has a total of 6. So not tons, but not the bare minimum. Like I said before, to qualify for this ranking, I'm going to say they need to have 5 costumes, and Moe has 6, so he qualifies. So yeah, today we're going to be ranking all 6 of Moe's costumes from worst to best. So let's get into it with the worst costume, in my opinion. Number 21. Man, I hate putting Stonecutter costumes at the bottom. Because in some regards, I love the Stonecutter's costumes. I think it's really cool to get them all. But in terms of Moe, I definitely have to put his number 21 at the bottom. Because it's by far the worst in the fact that it doesn't have any animations. So obviously Moe's, originally the number 21 costume for Moe was free in the Stonecutters event. And you actually got it by solving the first riddle. And then in returning, it's returned for as much as 50 donuts, which is quite pricey for a costume that doesn't have any animations. I've always said that 60 is for a good costume. A costume can be up to 60 donuts if it's a good costume. However, this costume isn't that great, so I don't think, honestly, I don't even think 50 is worth it. Maybe 20. But yeah, apart from the appearance, you're not getting any exclusive animations with this costume. All of his tasks are included in the Stonecutter's Lodge, and he has one in the Stonecutter Daycare Center. So not particularly very good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks cool. It's cool to collect all the Stonecutter costumes, and the fact it was free when it was first released, I think that's a good thing. But I think compared to his other costumes and the fact that it doesn't have any animations, I have to put it right at the bottom of the list. So that is number 6, or the worst if you will, number 21. Respectable Moe. I felt iffy on this one, I'll be honest. This is of course Moe's very first costume, and you got this through the Whiskey Business episode tie-in, and it was free. However, they never re-added it. Absolutely, they have not re-added it once, according to the wiki at least. If that is wrong, please do tell me, but from what I can tell, I went on both wikis, the Tapped Out wiki, and I went on the Simpsons wiki Simpsons. Both of them list the costume as never returning. Obviously, I don't know because I got it in the episode tie-in, so obviously I can't tell for sure, but it's telling me that this actually has never returned, and for that reason I think it kind of confirmed its spot as the second worst. Now, I think it's okay though. Like the fun in limo is a fun kind of animated task. I like that. It's him kind of poking his head out in the limo. Strut in the suit is like it's okay. It's nothing amazing though, kind of animation. But yeah, of course he was free in the episode tie-in. He looks okay, like he does look like a respectable Moe. But honestly, apart from that, it's kind of bland. It isn't really anything that amazing. It's just Moe in a suit, really. So I think it was good for the episode tie-in. I think it was a nice way to kind of tie into the episode. But they definitely could have given us something else, for sure. That episode has a lot of stuff in it. And I think the fact they just gave us this costume was a bit crappy, to be honest. So yeah, I think respectable Moe. I think this is where he deserves to be. The costume hasn't been re-added. It doesn't look that amazing, and obviously that's it really, but that's enough. So yeah, that is number 5, or the second worst, if you will, respectable Moe. Pin Pal Moe. So this is another costume that has never returned to the game, at least according to both those wikis. Yeah, but unlike the respectable Moe, this one was originally obviously added in 2017, whereas respectable Moe, I believe that was 2014 I want to say, or 2013. So this one is more recent, so for that point, that's why I'm going to put Pin Pal Moe above respectable Moe. Also, I generally think it looks cooler. It's cooler to kind of collect the set of 4 Pin Pal members. he was 100 donuts, but that came with Mr. Burns, so it was a bundle. So 100 donuts for both Pin Pal Moe and Pin Pal Burns. Not terrible. It's, 50 for each costume if you split it in two. That's a fair price, I would say. For the two animated tasks, we have Bowl Aggressively, which is pretty funny, and Level the Playing Field, which is also pretty cool too. Yeah, and it looks cool. You're completing a set of characters, of costumes that you have to collect. Obviously, there's 4 of them to collect. Overall, I think it's a very positive costume. I wouldn't say it was a bad costume at all. For the most part, I think all Moe's costumes are pretty decent. But yeah, this one I think is fairly average in terms of Moe's costume. So I'm going to put it here as number 3. Sorry, as the 3rd worst, or the 4th best, if you will. Yeah, I found it a little because like it's a good costume and all, but the fact it hasn't returned at all. And again, I'm basing this on the costumes, not the updates. The fact it's never returned, I think that's negative points, so I'm putting it as the 3rd worst. But it certainly isn't a bad costume. If you manage to get this in the Pin Pal updates, it's a good costume. Moving on. Moog, I think that's how you say it. Moog, I'm probably going to get told off and told that that's not how you meant to say it. So Moog is a pretty cool costume, for sure. It looks awesome. He looks delightfully devilish. He looks pretty awesome. It's certainly aesthetically, it's a very different costume in terms of the appearance of Moe. Like, it makes him look fairly different. Now, this costume was free in the original update it was added in, which was, of course, the Treehouse of Horror update XXV, which was 2014, so quite a while ago. However, it has returned. It came back in the Springfield Jobs and the most recent Treehouse of Horror for 50 donuts. And it also came back in the Thanksgiving 2016 and the All-American Auction for 20 donuts. Obviously, that is the mystery boxes, but yeah, you could get this costume for 20 donuts, and it was also added in the yearbook for 30 donuts. So yeah, overall, really good prices for this costume. Definitely good pricing overall. I think 50 donuts is fair, 20 donuts is a steal, and obviously when it was originally added, it was completely free. So I think in terms of pricing, this costume gets a point for that. It was free originally, and then it came out on different prices, but I think they were all reasonable prices. Now, for his 2 animated tasks, we have Go for a Bit of the old In Out, which is okay. That's at the Quickie Mart. And then we have his 24-hour task, which is Go Looking for Some Ultra Violence, which is pretty decent too. 2 decent animations, reasonable price. It looks really devilish and cool. So yeah, Moog, definitely a really good costume, so that's why I'm placing him as the 3rd best / 4th worst, but 3rd best at this point, let's be honest. Moving on. Fire Chief Moe is number 2, so I was a little iffy on this at first. I was like, should I put this as a little bit higher? And for the main reason why I wanted originally to put it a bit lower than I did is it has never returned. But I find it difficult to how they would have returned it. So, for example, with Pin Pal Moe, I think there's reasons, there's obvious things they could have done to return Pin Pal Moe. For example, when they did Marge the Bat, they could just have thrown a bunch of sports stuff back, a bunch of old sports stuff, and bowling you could loosely fit in there. However, with Fire Chief Moe and all the fire costumes, I really don't understand how they would have added them back. It would have been very random and forced. However, I do fully understand that it hasn't ever come back, and it's an update that was in 2013, I believe, 2014, sorry. 2016, so not too bad. It's an update in 2016, so yeah, it hasn't come back for a while, which is a shame. However, I think its animations trump that. And what I mean is, rescue cat from trees and rescue cats from trees alone is a hilariously funny little task. Fundraise is also a pretty decent task too. Those 2 animations I love. So I honestly think that they trump the fact that this costume hasn't returned in years. And like I said, I think there's a case to be made as to why this costume has never been returned. I don't think it's really fit into any specific updates that we have got recently. The only one I can loosely think of is maybe, I forget exactly which one came first, but maybe they could have added this in the Chiliad Homer. They could have returned there, but I'm not sure if the Chiliad Homer came before this, to be honest. It might have. Or they could have re-added it at the book stops here, maybe, which was the political event. I don't know, fire. I loosely tied it in, but really I think it would have been difficult to re-add all the fire stuff, so I can somewhat understand the reasoning to why. That's no excuse really, but I'm just trying to justify it some way, and I just think it looks cool. It's cool to see Moe in a fireman get-up, like it's cool to see the rest of the characters in the fireman get-up. So yeah, I think this costume overall is pretty decent. I'm cheating a little bit by putting it at number 2, just for that damn rescue cat from trees task. I just love the image of Moe rescuing a cat from a tree. So yeah, number 2, sue me. Someone's going to disagree with me with this choice, but I don't care. Anyway, moving on to our number 1. Can we have that little drum roll? That's your drum roll. It goes to Emperor Moe. Emperor Moe, how could I not? How could I not give it to Emperor Moe? Now, I believe that in my last time I did Moe, it was the same. I think this list is fairly similar to that one, but I'm pretty sure I put Emperor Moe as number 1. Yeah, I mean, come on, look at it. It looks cool. The cone, the get-up, the dressing gown with the machine gun bullets wrapped around him, and the Molotov cocktail in his hands. Obviously, he doesn't carry that around, but just the splash image. Look at it. It's cool. Of course, this is from the Simpsons movie, which is really, really awesome. Before this came out, I had talked about them adding this as a costume for Moe for a while. I really wanted them to add a costume for Moe. This, of course, was added in the Bart Royale event. It has never returned, but Bart Royale is a fairly, not really that recent, but it was only 2018, I believe. Yeah, it was 2018 in January, so there's still a lot of time to add it. Obviously, if they're ever to do anything with the Simpsons movie, like they were to do another Simpsons movie event, they of course could add this into that event. Yeah, I think there's plenty of cool stuff in this. We've obviously got Defend His Title, which is a pretty cool animated task, and Survey His Kingdom, which is not as good, but still a pretty decent one. Of course, it was originally free. It was an act-free prize, so you had to earn it, and then you got it for free. 2 really cool animations, and it looks cool as hell. So I think, all in all, this is a solid costume, and in my opinion, by far the best costume for Moe. It just looks cool as hell. And 2 cool animations, and of course it was originally free, which is all great. So that is it for Moe. There is no more costumes for Moe, so that is all of them ranked from worst to best. Yeah, so please do tell me if you disagree. I'm sure someone will disagree with one of my choices, but that is perfectly fine. I do like it when people do disagree, because it, shows that people are engaging with it. Tell me which character you'd like to see next. I would really like to see what you guys want to see next, and the comment that gets the most votes with a character suggestion will be the comment that the character I will do. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.